It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
What it do? What it do? What it do? Y'all, welcome to another episode of Let's Bet It. Um, got some looks tonight for the W. Um, 5 games on the slate for tonight. So plenty to break down, plenty to get into. So no games last night. Obviously, the night before. um, my best bet of the show was the Dream Money line. I hope you guys played it because I didn't get a chance to, and I'm going to tell you why. So I saw when I was on the show, the line had been moving in favor of the Storm, and so the money line it went to plus 130. So I knew the game started late, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna see if it gets higher, and my money line price gets better, so I get the best number. But realizing that I had been up since 5 a.m., I didn't realize that I'd been up since 5 a.m. that day. And man, when it got to be like between 9 and 9:30, I just lost consciousness and just went to sleep. And woke up at like midnight and realized I didn't get to put that play in. And of course, not only do the Dream cover, but they went outright. So um, hope you guys got to usually my best bet, I usually have it placed already, but I just really thought that Dream money line would move some more. So it is what it is. So yep, my best bet on the show, the Dream money line hit. I had 2 plays on Twitter. The Golden State money line at plus money that hit, and also the Dream team total over. I did get that play in earlier in the day, and that hit. So um, here another day. Let's get to some of these games or all of these games. So the first one up, Sparks at Wings. The Wings come in as 5-point dogs. I believe this. I know what this opened at because this was a play I made on the game, but it opened up at minus 2.5 in favor of the Sparks. Um, this one, the Wings are coming off a win as a dog in Indiana. Sparks off a loss. If you look at the standings, and I'm going to share my screen a little bit with these standings, probably a little bit more than once, but um, if you look at, let me share my screen here. So if you look at these standings, I mean, it's really tight. I mean, aside from Minnesota, it looks like they've got that 1 seed locked up. Everything is just it's just really tight. I mean, you're talking about a 4-game losing streak away from going from number 2 to completely out of the picture. I mean, it only 5.5 um, games separates 2 through it looks like 9. So these standings are super tight. But if we look, just talking about this Sparks Wings matchup, if you can see here, Sparks are just on the outside looking in with from Seattle, a half game out. But the big thing here is that Seattle, of course, is playing Atlanta tonight, and it seems like Atlanta owns them. So I think the Sparks, they kind of know what's at stake. They had the hiccup the other night, lost the other night. So I just think that LA gets up for this one. Dallas has absolutely nothing to play for. Like I said, they're just coming off of a win as a road dog, outright win. So I could see a letdown here. No Enrique in the lineup for them. So I really think it could be Sparks by double digits. I played it at minus 2.5 when it first came out. Just kind of thinking that this could be a get right spot for the Sparks. So um, Give me the LA Sparks. I got them -2.5. Don't know if I would still play it. Don't know if I would still play it at a +5, but as far as the total's concerned, I'll never go under in a Sparks game. That's just not how I live my life. I mean, they're a wagon to the over. They play zero defense. They play at a quick pace. They got a ton of offensive weapons on the floor. So never take an under. But I will say on the same token that this Wings offense has looked pretty. It's looked kind of dead, especially without Enrique in there. Now, I know she's an inefficient chucker that some people think, but she does put points on the board for them. And without her, they struggle offensively. And I was looking at the team totals, and I saw that Dallas was at 86 and a half. And I wouldn't play this in a Sparks game, but I could really see them struggling to score even against the Sparks defense. But my best look here is Sparks -2.5. That's what I got. Um, I mean, like I said, I think it could be a double digit, victory. So if you decide you want to play that -5 for the Sparks, I would, kind of go lower on your play size. All right, let's go to the next one. Valkyries at Sky. Um, Sky are 7.5 point dogs at home. Um, Valkyries have come into this one um, playing lockdown defense, won three in a row. Um, the Sky, I mean, they just, I mean, it just looks like they're just tanking the rest of this year. I don't. It would surprise me um, if it would surprise me if you see Angel Reese again at all. I know I've been kind of talking heavy on different chats about certain players being out for the rest of the year, and I think personally that's where the WNBA is going to be kind of trending. They're not going to want to get their high profile players hurt. I think, and on top of that, if your team isn't playing for nothing, they're looking at this as a long-term investment. There's going to be a lot of money poured into this league. It already is, and there's going to be billions of more dollars poured in. Got to protect these stars, and that's why I don't think you'll see Caitlin. You might. I don't think you'll see Enrique again. I don't think you'll see Angel again this year. But those are just my hot takes um, on that. But yeah, Valkyries and Sky. I grabbed this one. This is another one that I grabbed pretty early. I grabbed Golden State at -4.5. Is what I got the number at. Um, I just think the Sky are just, like I said, a tanking team. I don't think they really care about winning anymore. Not the rest of this season anyway. They're not in a rush to bring Angel Reese back. So I I could only look the Valkyries. This is another one that I could see being a double digit win. So I couldn't talk you too hard off of taking the Valkyries at 7.5. Obviously, make it a smaller play, but um, as far as the total, 148 and a half. I mean, this is comically low, but it was this low the Valkyries last game. They played and it went under. It went under that. So, man, the way the Valkyries lock down and play defense is crazy. It travels well. I've said that all year that their defense travels well. So um, it wouldn't surprise me to see this game go under. The Sky had all the trouble in the world just hitting 70 points in recent games. So couldn't talk anybody off the under. Probably something I'll probably stay away from though. Next one. Mystics at Fever. This is another one. I did play this one as well. Got a lot of action today. Um, Played this one as well. I played this one at -7.5 in favor of the -7.5 for the Fever. Shakira Austin ruled out today, and I just think this is a get right spot for the Fever, coming off of that coming off of that loss against Dallas. And once again, I'm going to share my screen for the standings because I feel like this is a game that matters in the standings. And if you look here, Indiana just one game behind Vegas. Well, I'll try to click it. One game behind Vegas in the standings. So, as Vegas is going up to play. Man, I know who the Aces are playing, and I literally just lost it. The Aces are playing the Mercury tonight. Big game, and we'll talk about that one in a little bit. Sorry, it took me a minute, but yeah, Aces and Mercury tonight, which is a game I personally think the Aces are going to lose. So if the Fever can somehow get a victory in this one, they'll be tied with the Aces up in fifth place. So these standings just matter a ton, are mattering a lot, as we get closer and closer to the end of the regular season. And I could see Indiana coming out with some sense of urgency. I don't think that the Mystics are necessarily tanking, but they're not playing for a playoff spot this year. I don't think. After trading your leading scorer at the trade deadline, that just kind of tells me that you're willing to, ride with your young core. Now, and if you make the playoffs, great, but that's not the goal, this year. So I think Washington has a good young core, but for this particular game, the spot, and given that, the Fever coming off a loss as a home favorite, I just think that Stephanie White is going to have these ladies ready to play. So I took the Fever -7.5 up to 8.5. If you want to play that, always, if you do, play it small. Looking at the total, 162.5. At the total, 162.5. I could see this game going over, to be honest with you. I think the Fever are going to, now that they've gotten Odyssey Sims, got her through that first game, I think she'll be effective on the offensive end for them. And I just don't see much resistance from the Mystics side either. So if I had to play a total, haven't played anything yet on it, it would be under 162.5. All right, not last game, next game. Aces at Mercury. So we just mentioned this one in the with the standings implication. So this was one that I've played a few ways tonight. Mercury 4.5 point favorites. The last I looked, the total was at 169.5. So it went up a point. You coming into this game, Mercury, lost a tough one. Not even a tough one. They just got beat by the Dream 74-66. Aces come in having won 5 games in a row, and I just think let me go back to these standings. This is a huge game, especially for the Mercury, because if the Mercury, if the Aces, happen to win this game, not only will they jump the Mercury in the standings as a 4 seed, and that's a home court advantage, I believe. That's the lowest seeded home court advantage. If they happen to jump the Mercury in this game, if the Aces win this game, not only will they jump them in the standings, but they'll also own the head-to-head tiebreaker. They still have one more meeting, but the Aces clinch the head-to-head tiebreaker with the win here tonight. So I just feel like Phoenix is going to come out with a ton of urgency to start. I think it carries the overall game. This is another double-digit one. I think the Aces winning 5 in a row. I think they have played a lot better, but I could just see that this is almost like a scheduled loss for Vegas. I can't see them getting to 6 in a row. Not in this spot. Not against a team that is trying to keep them from clinching the tiebreaker in the standings and leapfrogging them as well in the standings. So I think Phoenix comes early. I took them -2.5 in the first, or -2 in the first half. Got that on DraftKings, I believe, yesterday. Posted that on Twitter, and I did put a small play on the -4.5 too. I just think Phoenix comes out start to finish, and this is one that um, I think they win convincingly. So another small play that I made in this game as well was the total. I got it at 169.5. I took the under. I think with what's at stake as far as standings and tiebreakers and things like that, I think you're going to see more of a playoff style atmosphere. I think you're going to see a little bit more defense, especially on the Phoenix side. So I could see. I played the under 169.5. I don't think we're going to see a super high scoring affair, not enough to get to 170 in this one. So I took the under 169.5. I'm not sure if that is still available. I even like it at 168. I think it opened at 166 or something like that. But yeah, I could see this being more of a playoff, type atmosphere. All right, let's hit this last game. Storm and Dream. This one has kind of moved up and down. It moved in favor of the Dream. I even saw, I feel like 1.5s might be out there for the Dream. So this has kind of went, a couple different ways. But in this one, I don't have a particular play, yet, but I'm really leaning toward the Dream again. I took a money line, the other day against this same team. Now, this game is being played in Canada, so one angle that I was looking at was possibly the first half. New court or new arena, new court, new rims for both sides, so it could take some getting used to up in there in Vancouver. But I was really leaning the under in the first half, and honestly, I might just go back to the Dream again on the -2. I don't see what the Storm could possibly fix between today and a few days ago. This team is a mess. I think the whole trade with Alicia Clark going to Washington, I really think that kind of shook the team up a little bit. I don't think Noel Quinn knows what she's doing personally. It just seems like a mess up there. And now they've got Sykes in the fold, another guard, and you're adding her, 2/3 through the season. So I don't know. I just think this Dream team is for real. They could find themselves in the finals. If things kind of shake a certain way. So I really like the Dream again tonight, -2. Like I said, I like the money line the last game, this last same matchup in Seattle, and I don't see crossing the border changing anything. So my strong lean is Atlanta -2. All right, best bet. Best betting. If I had to go back, a lot, like I said, a lot of these the lines that I played, they're gone. Um, I've still recommended a few of them, just lower unit plays. But if I'm going to give you a best bet for the show that I still think you can get, it might be a 2.5. You might be able to find a 2. It's really that Mercury first half. -2 is what I got. Like I said, I think you can still find 2s, maybe 2.5s, but that number should still be there. I think the Mercury come out tonight and really play with a sense of urgency. So I could see them being up, a couple of more than a couple of possessions by the end of the first half. So until then, I think there's one game tomorrow. Haven't looked at it yet. Me and Can't Stop or put our heads together, see what we come up with. But there's a loaded slate on Sunday, so you'll definitely be seeing us before the Sunday slate kicks off. Peace out, y'all.
You broke, try to have a nice day. If you're fat, try to have a nice day. If you're skinny, try to have a nice day. If you got a big head, try to have a nice day. If your mama's ugly, try to have a nice day. If your daddy whoop your ass, try to have a nice day. If a dog bites you in the ass, bite him back and try to have a nice day. Try to have a nice day. See, that's my theme. Try to have a nice day. I'm about to leave right now and go try to have me a nice day. All right. Try to have a nice day.